This is going to be a comparison between three camera systems. The Nikon ZF, the Sony A7 IV, Panasonic G9 II. Why? Well, I was going to do a video, which I will still do, on the Nikon Z lenses 50 and 85 millimeter f1.2 because I haven't used it yet, or haven't used it for a while, mainly. I love the character of those lenses, fast primes, bokeh, but they're big and heavy. All right. And I've been downsizing since I'm getting older and retired. So I wanted something a little bit sharper. And then I got an idea. For three camera systems, I have the 24 to 70 and 70 to 200 equivalent. Okay. The only difference is I didn't want to buy the Sony lenses, the GM lenses. So I bought the Tamron G2, the 35 to 100. And no, it's the 3, but it's an f2.8. They're all f2.8s. And I had the 12 to 35 and the 35 to 100 on the G9 II, which is an f2.8. And on the ZF, I had the 24 to 70 and the 70 to 200 f2.8S version 2. So the only thing was on the Tamron, in order to match it, I added the 16 millimeter G lens f1.8 at 2.8 and the 24 millimeter f2.8 G lens. And then I added the Nikon F mount 70 to 200. But what I did was I just used the 135 millimeter and the 200 millimeter, all right, to because the Tamron only went to 100 just to finish it up. And I used the ETZ 21 Pro Plus adapter. No, I'm sorry. I used the NF, Viltrox NF-E1 autofocus adapter. And then on the wide end, since there's only 26 millimeters, and I want it wider field of view, I do have a 20 millimeter, which I could have put on the Viltrox, but I decided to match it with the Sony. So I had the Megadap ETZ 21 Pro Plus adapter, which I used the 16 millimeter G from Sony, the f1.8 at 2.8. And then, of course, to round it up for the wide field, the 9 millimeter, which is an 18 millimeter equivalent, on the G9 II, which is a 1.7. So, you know, you're going to look at some photographs and stuff. And what I want you to look at and decide, can a Micro Four Thirds be better than the full frame system? That's the catch. Can tiny cameras take over from full frame? Probably not. It's sharp. 2.8 is kind of like a 5.6 in aperture, is what I'm hearing. But photographs look good, and then you can put them in post and make them look even better, you know, brighten them up. So anyway, let's go to the first sharing. This is the Nikon. Now, what I did was I shot close, so 16 millimeter. I was a little bit out of position on the 16 millimeter. I got a little bit too close because I had to reshoot that. But 24 millimeter, this is another, this is the automatic. This is what I brought into each camera system. This is the way I was shooting, and this is what the camera decided to shoot. And I like what the camera did better. So anyway, 35 millimeter, 50, 70, 85, 105, 135, 200, and then farther away, 16 millimeter, 24. And this is the auto. I forgot to put that in, but that's from the camera. See, totally different. It looks a lot better picture. And then 35, 50 millimeter, 70 millimeter, 85 millimeter. These are all far away shots, 105, 135, 200, and that's it. So that was a first set of pictures from the Nikon. Now we're going to go to the Panasonic G9 II. 18 millimeters. Now this is the intelligent auto, okay? I did have little problems with the focusing because it wasn't recognizing the flowers. It was trying to pick either the Jeep or something else, okay? And then I was pointing and that helped a little bit, but you can see I try to get it into the center, which it finally did. These are all close-up shots. You see, I added the 170 to the, after the 135. So I have extra shots here. But see, that's a beautiful picture right there also. 200 millimeters. And if I bring it in a little bit closer, you can't beat that. That's gorgeous, sharp, and Micro Four Thirds can't have any bokeh. That's baloney. And it's at f2.8. Yeah, let's see if I have another shot. Yeah. So then these are the far off shots, all right, 18 millimeter. Then of course is the intelligent auto. So you can see mine was darker, it was lighter. And then the 24, 35, 50, 70, 100, 140, 170, 200 millimeters. Okay, Sony A7 IV, the last one. Like I said, I like using the 35 and 100 millimeter, but I added the 24 and 16 primes and the Nikon FL 70 to 200 to finish off the 135, 200 millimeters. So let's look at these photos. 16 millimeter, and this is on their auto. So you can see how the color pops. Now, I thought mine was blurrier in the background, but it got really cloudy when I was taking these pictures yesterday. So when I went in the morning, this morning, it was a lot brighter. 50, 70 millimeter, 85, 100. The 135, these are the Nikon lenses, all right? So the color is different, and I was not in the same position. I'm sorry about that. I just left it at a 35 to 100, then I decided, you know what? I have an adapter that can fix that. So at 200 millimeters, this is full frame, close-up shot. That's excellent too. And of course, the bokeh, but you see it's sharp right here and it's blurry right here. So between all three cameras, they do an excellent job, right, on the picture quality. 16 millimeter, that should be 18 millimeter. I'm sorry. I got that one wrong. No, that is a 16 millimeter on the Sony. We're doing Sony. We're not doing Panasonic. There's a 16 millimeter. That's the automatic. I like their color rendition better. 24 millimeter prime, 35 millimeter, 50, 70, 85, 100. That's end of Tamron. Now for the Nikon, and These positions were the same because I always set at this one spot. So on the far away shots, 135, 200 millimeter. And if I increase it, just put it right there. Isn't that gorgeous? And I'm going to make it full screen. Now that's gorgeous. You know, you can see a little focal back here. And, you know, a little bit back here too. I think I'm going to leave it right there. Okay. We'll finish off with the Sony. So I love my camera systems. I had the Panasonic full frames. I wasn't using it, so I got rid of it. Got rid of the Canon because I wasn't using it. They're both great systems, okay? But I tended to go to street photography. So with the Sony A7CR and the ZF, I get so many people coming up to me when I'm using this cognac brown ZF that they're always asking me questions. Okay, what type of film camera is that? And with the I'm using the I believe the TT Artisans 20 millimeter silver lens, the 40 millimeter f2. I think it's an f2. Yeah, 40 millimeter f2, and this looks fantastic on the ZF. So I get a lot of compliments. It's great to get away with street photography when you take a camera like that in the lens, and it's just great. It's only about 24 and a half megapixels, but you know, if you get on the Sony and then you have like the 24 millimeter or the 40 millimeter, or I got the 28 2.0 or the 35 2.8, you know, small lenses on the A7CR, no one will bother you. And what I liked about the 35 to 100, it's smaller and it covers most of the area that I usually shoot. I like the 35 millimeter format. I don't usually go lower unless I'm using the Leica Q3 or decide to use some wider field or wider lenses on these camera systems like the 28 to 26 millimeter Nikon. I can interchange lenses between Sony and Nikon, F mount to Sony, and then the Sony FEs or even the E's to Nikon, you know, with the adapter. But the Micro Four Thirds is basically my everyday camera. So for wildlife and some street photography and landscape, the ZF. Street photography, some wildlife, but basically street photography and landscape for the A7 V, A7CR. And then on the Panasonic G9 II, I also have the G8 VII. I have the GX1 and the GX850 now. And these are my everyday cameras. And I love the 9 millimeter, which is an 18 millimeter equivalent. I'm having fun. I'm retired. I'm getting old. I can't carry heavy equipment all the way around. And I go on vacation sparingly. But when I do get out, it gets me out of the house and I enjoy what I'm doing. And I like sharing my content with you folks out there in YouTube land. I appreciate you watching me. I hope this was helpful. Um, thank you for watching. Remember, stay safe, keep smiling, and I'll see you next time. Bye, folks. Have a wonderful day.